Good morning. Welcome to Market Movers. This is Miguel Nunez. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams, as you well know. And we have a special guest today, Lori Bolander. Lori,
Oh.
how are you? Good morning.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Good. So Lori is a estate planning attorney and probate attorney. She's a partner with Gallagher, Bolander, and Smete, right?
Yes.
As you know, we've worked together in many cases. And I definitely wanted you to come over here and tell us a little bit about you and your practice.
Yeah. So we do basically everything trust and estates, primarily estate planning, trust administration, and probate.
Okay.
The firm's been in the Ocean Beach area for about 70 years, and so we have a lot of clients over in the Point Loma, the Peninsula area.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool and funky area. I mean,
Yes, it's very interesting to be located in Ocean Beach.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about probate. And, of course, you and I have worked together in multiple cases. Unfortunately, some of them are probates, and unfortunately, because tell us why probate is not a good thing necessarily.
Right. And it seems like everybody knows that. They know that it's bad, but they mostly don't understand what it actually is.
Yes.
And what probate is basically the court process of taking assets out of your name when you die. So if you own something individually, there's a court procedure to make sure that whoever's taking your assets are the rightful people to be doing so. Hence the probate procedure got created.
Yes.
And, lofty goal, of course, of, you want to make sure that somebody that's taking the property is the right person. But in California, it takes, now we say at least 2 years. The courts since
Really?
COVID are even further backed up. And so it's going to take you at least 2 years. It's expensive because all the fees are statutory, which is set by law, and delays everything going to, the people that you're trying to leave your assets to.
So how do you avoid probate?
So in California, we can use trusts to do that. And it's basically a legal fiction that, these attorneys have come up with to avoid the probate process. But basically, when you create a trust, you then title all of your assets, or at least the major assets that would trigger a probate, into your trust. So when you die, you actually, as an individual, don't actually own anything. This trust owns all the assets, and the trust dictates who will distribute those assets and who they will be distributed to. And there's procedures under the law for the trustee to step in and do that.
So who has to have a trust?
So again, if you own real estate, that's a big one,
okay.
because that's, in San Diego, Southern California, those are the high value assets.
Yeah.
And they cannot, in real estate, if it's over $55,000, cannot be transferred without probate. So anything in Southern California, basically, if it's real estate, needs to be held in a trust. Other than that, the limit for probate assets is $184,500. Okay. So if you've got like a brokerage account or a savings account that's in your name and doesn't have a beneficiary designated on it, could go through probate, and that's the trigger for that.
Okay.
And technically, that number is all your assets added up together.
What we've seen, and mainly in the past years, when people were refinancing, the lenders would say, well, you have to take the property out of the trust, and they refinance, and then they forget to put the property back in the trust.
Yes.
What happens there?
That was very common. And luckily, they haven't completely stopped doing it, but there's less incidences of it. But when that happens, that's one of the reasons we create a schedule of assets for your trust. And if we list it there, generally we can avoid it going through probate using what's called a Hegstead petition.
Okay.
So we still have to go to court, but it's a much cheaper, shorter, inexpensive process.
You know what? I think that we just touched the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure you have people learn by stories. So if it's okay with you, maybe I'd like to bring you back some of the day and maybe give us a few examples of probate and estate planning. And I think that will clarify and it will make it all clear for people to understand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I definitely have plenty of those.
No, I'm sure you do. Well, thank you very much
for
coming,
having
and
me.
Looking forward to see you again.
All right. Thanks, Miguel.
Thank you.